It's the amazing Rico Brogna podcast with your host, Evan Roberts.
Welcome to Rico Brogna! How are y'all doing? Here's the best part. We're live at Das Beer Garden in Jupiter, and the Mets won today! And you know what's funny? I knew we were starting at 4 o'clock, and the game was at about 3:48, and the game was almost over, but not quite. And I was like, I have to make a choice. Do I watch Jack Wenninger try to get the final out and win a meaningless game in Jupiter, or do I make it to the Rico Brogna on time? And you know what I decided to do, Pete? No, I decided to watch Jack Wenninger get the last out. I just happened to be here on time. No, it was fun. It's good to see baseball live. That's the thing. But I think when you watch spring training for more than 5 minutes, you realize that you need the real stuff. It's like a drug. It's like you get a little bit of it, and you're like, you have to give me the real stuff. So it was very good seeing the Mets play the St. Louis Cardinals in Jupiter. How many people actually went to the game today? All right, a few people did. I mean, it was fun. There was a few things that jumped out at me. Number one, Ronny Mauricio is certainly not making this team. If he was going to, do stuff to maybe change Carlos Mendoza's mind, one thing you can't do is have a 4-pitch walk and then get picked off at first base. So that's number one. Ronny Mauricio's chances of making the team got diminished because I think for him to have made the team, and I had said this before, he was going to have a big camp. He was going to have to be really impressive, and that has not happened. So 4-pitch walk, pickoff cannot occur. Number two, here's the other thing that jumped out at me. If you went to this game, you saw Bo Bichette playing third base, and you saw Brett Batty playing first base. And I said this to Pete while we were watching the game. I said, I want to see these guys tested. I want to see if they make plays. And Bo Bichette had a routine ground ball to third base, and it was like slow motion. It was like, all right, I'm going to make this play, I'm going to throw to first base, and I'm not going to F it up. And he didn't. So good job by Bo Bichette making a routine play at third base. And Brett Batty actually looked pretty good. He had a couple of scoops over there. He actually looked like a real first baseman, and I stand by this. Brett Batty will play more games at first base for the New York Mets in 2026 than anybody else. Am I right, Hoff? I can't hear you. I don't know if you're on. But Pete's done a really good job of setting this whole thing up. So even if his microphone isn't working, no one cares that Pete can't talk.
Now we're back.
People. What?
I'm back now. Oh, but yes, I think that Batty will get most starts at first base. Is that what you said?
Now, here's the thing. I didn't really hear what you had to say, and that's okay. Today on the Rico, live from Das Beer Garden, which is a beautiful venue, the one thing we thought to make this Rico a little bit different today is to let the people be a part of it. Usually I read emails. That's different. Today, we're inviting you to come up and talk Mets baseball, whatever the hell you want to talk about. So it's on Pete to decide who should come on stage. But really, it's anything you want to talk about. And here's the best part. Since it's a podcast, if you accidentally drop a curse word, I'm going to not be thrilled with you, but at least we won't get sued by the FCC. So that part is good that it's a podcast, but we prefer that you not curse and say inappropriate things because the Rico is very popular amongst 12-year-olds. I have heard it. I've seen the emails. So be appropriate if you come up and talk Met baseball. So if you want to join the Rico today, Pete will stop by in the next few minutes. He'll talk to you. He'll make sure that, you're able to come on. And we could talk about whatever you want to talk about as we get set for the start of the season. But a couple of other thoughts from this game and about the Mets over the last couple of days. Let me start with Kodi Senga. Watching Kodi today, I know he gave up 2 solo home runs. Who did he give up to? Let me see. Pedro Pajes and something called Miguel Ugueto, who I looked up as like a quadruple A player. So I know that part may concern you, but here's the best part about what I saw from Kodi today. A, he got through the 2 2/3 innings and threw 50 pitches. He didn't get hurt, so that's positive number one. And he was pumping the fastball at 96, 97. And we've heard about that over the last couple of days and weeks, that the velocity on Senga's fastballs have been up there. And we saw that today because they've got it up at the board in Jupiter. I thought his command was pretty good. We saw a little bit of the ghost forkball. He looked confident. And honestly, in spring training, what you're looking for, especially from a guy like Senga, is to just get through this thing healthy. And I thought in this start today, he got through it healthy. So that's a positive. Number two, before the game, I saw Carlos Mendoza said that Senga is good and open to pitching every 5th day. Well, a couple things about that. Kodi Senga, you best be open to whatever the hell they tell you to do. But number two, I've said this a lot about Senga. We shouldn't be mad at him for pitching with extra days of rest. We should be mad at the Mets. They're the ones making the decision. And they've made that decision because they believe that's how they're able to get the best out of him. And the numbers don't lie. Like when he has extra rest, he's better than the 4 or 5 games he's pitched on regular rest. If the Mets are willing to try that with Kodi this year, where they pitch him on regular rest or 4 days rest, I'm good with it. But if he continues to struggle in that way, then of course you've got to think about doing what's best for him, because that's what's best for us. But I continue to believe that with Senga, and we saw Manaea pitch on Friday, that they are best used as a tag team. And you can come up with whatever cute nickname you want for that tag team. That's the way to get the best out of Senga and Manaea, because Manaea pitched on Friday. The game wasn't on TV. If you happen to go there, because you were in Jupiter for more than one day, then you were able to see it. It wasn't bad. The problem was his velocity was down. Now, Mendy's telling us it's okay. He was throwing his cutter a lot. Nothing to be alarmed about. He's going to get to make 2 or 3 more spring training starts. I think that will be the kind of proof in the pudding. But I stand here today, or sit here today, because I am actually sitting here from Das Beer Garden, still believing the best course of action for this rotation is to have Senga and Manaea as a tag team. What else do I have on my mind from this game? Oh, Mike Tauchman. Tauchman the Sockman. He hit a rope double in the 6th inning. He continues to be the leader in the clubhouse, not over Carson Bench, but over really MJ Melendez and even Christian Pache to get that last outfield spot. Now, let me say this about Pache. That catch he made in center field, that was unbelievable. I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was a deep fly ball to right center field. A pitcher of water. Who's better than you? Thank you. And Christian Pache made this incredible running catch, crashing into the wall in center field. What I think about Pache is I'd like to have him around in AAA, just in case, break glass in case of emergency, because he's still young enough where it's possible maybe he puts it all together for us. But he's hit a little bit in camp. Now, he's mostly doing it against crappy pitching, so I wouldn't go that nuts about it. But he made a great running catch in this game. That was very, very impressive to see. And how about your boy, Brett Batty? 2 hits in this game. You were pleased with that, Hoff, including going opposite field on both of them, little bunkers in a left.
That was my favorite part of the day.
See Brett Batty?
Yeah, because everyone knows that I'm not the biggest Brett Batty fan out there. And I understand, I respect that he had a good second half last season. It was solid. But I need to see him go oppo. I need to see him take the ball and go with it where it needs to go. Not try to pull the ball. I don't need 40 home runs from Brett Batty. I just don't. I need to play a good defense, and I need to hit 300.
I'll tell you something interesting about Hoff today. I don't know if this guy is here, but we sat down in our seats, and the guy says to me as Hoff's coming in, "Oh, my God, do I have to sit next to Pete Hoffman?" And I said, "Yeah, that's his seat. What's the problem?" And he said, "He's got some of the dumbest opinions I've ever heard." Did he tell you that when you said that?
That's the first thing he told me. And I actually heard that by like 5 other people. So thank you. I appreciate that. But here's the thing. You have to understand where I come from. It's a lot of I have a lot of sarcasm and nobody gets it. You got to understand that like, some of it is like dry humor. The reality is Brandon Nimmo, I know everyone loves Brandon Nimmo. I am not a big fan. It's better off that he's not here. Can we all agree on that now? This team is better off that Brandon Nimmo's not here. I'm sorry.
I thought Brandon Nimmo was here because there's a guy wearing a USA number 20 jersey. I'm pointing at you. Yes, it's a Pete Alonso USA jersey. This guy looks just like Brandon Nimmo. I thought Brandon Nimmo would come back at it to basically beat you up or something like that.
This guy, by the way,
told you look like Brandon Nimmo, or am I the first?
By the way, this guy came up. This guy, he's going to come up to you in a second, but he came up to me and threatened me. He goes, "Listen, by the way, I don't like what you say about Brandon Nimmo. He's my cousin." And I thought that he was going to deck me in the face. And then he just said he was just lying. So I appreciate the sense of humor.
Yeah, Brandon's a beloved Met, Pete. I don't know if you realize that.
I know.
Now, quite frankly, I don't want to talk about him anymore because he's not on this team. But he was a very, very good Met.
Again, you know who else was a nice Met? A guy we can't talk about. His name rhymes with Feet Alfonso.
No, we're not doing this. So, look, we are 2.5 weeks away from opening day, which I cannot believe. And please, get me to opening day at this point. And I am over, as better as I was during the offseason about some of the moves and some of the disagreements. I don't want to say I'm over it, but I'm ready to move on and start this season. You know what I mean? Like, I'm ready to begin anew. And I don't know what it is, but when you go down to Florida and you watch this team play and you only see 3 regulars, you feel very far away from opening day because very few guys who played in this game in Jupiter is actually going to be out there 2.5 weeks from now against the Pirates. But I am past Nimmo and Alonso and McNeil. It's about this team. A couple of other things from this game, and then we'll talk to the people. The people's Rico here from Das Beer Garden. You line up whoever you think would come on and have a good time. You could argue with me, ask questions, disagree, just give your opinions. I want to hear from the people. Too much of me talking. That's my biggest critique of the Rico. Too much Evan Roberts. Anyhow, the bullpen today. We saw after Kodi Senga, Jeffrey Yan. He's the kid who jumps up and down every time he gets an out. It was very exciting because he came in and got 2 strikes on a hitter, and we're all standing there hoping he strikes a batter out so that he can do his dance. Unfortunately, he gave up a base hit and then got a comebacker to get the last out, so we never saw Jeffrey Yan dance. We saw Luis Garcia, who's going to be a big part of this bullpen, pitch the scoreless inning. We even saw Luke Weaver. And let me get to Luke Weaver. I like Luke. We all like Luke. He seems like a wonderful dude. On the first pitch that Luke Weaver threw, for anyone who didn't see it, it was a little roller between first and the mound. And Brett Beatty's charging after it. He's being very aggressive. And Luke Weaver charges after it, fields the baseball, and then dives into first base and almost gets himself killed. And this is the one time of the game in which I got up and yelled a little bit. I'm not really a yeller when I go to Met games. I'm very to myself. I'm scoring the game. I'm very calm, 98% of the time. But this actually caused me to scream at a spring training game. And it was simply, hey, Luke, what's wrong with you? Why are you Jackson darting this thing into first base? Can you please be careful? It's a spring training game. And it was funny. Carlos Mendoza came out of the dugout. He glanced over like, are you okay? Do I need to come out and check on you? Luckily, Luke was okay. It was a really good play. And honestly, if it's a regular season game, I'd put a little star in my scorebook commemorating it. But it was one of those unnecessary plays. There was no reason for Luke Weaver to be diving into first base to make this play against, I'm trying to see who the batter was, against Victor Scott. So that jumped out at me. But Weaver threw a very nice, clean inning. I'm excited to see if Luke can be more like the guy from last year or 2 years ago with the Yankees as opposed to last year because, we saw Luke Weaver up close the last 2 years, and it was interesting. With the Yankees last year, he became their best reliever, and he was awesome. He became their closer and a guy that, could pitch multiple innings, which is really valuable, get more than 3 outs. Last year, after he got hurt, when he came back, he was a disaster. So like with most bullpen arms, which Luke Weaver are we going to see is going to be a real determining factor on how good we are. The other reliever we saw was Brooks Raley, and you almost forget how good Brooks was last year. Remember, David Stearns brought him back midway through the season. He comes back, and really outside of one bad game against Seattle on a Friday night, I don't know why that jumps out at me, Brooks Raley was so good for this team out of the bullpen. We saw him in this game, and he also pitched a relatively clean inning, had a couple of strikeouts, gave up a base hit, but looked pretty good. And then we saw Jack Wenninger. He was the guy who closed this game out or got the victory, pitched the last 3 innings. He's a prospect and a guy to keep an eye on because hopefully it's not the case because it would mean there's injuries. But Jack Wenninger could be one of those young pitchers we see late in the year. He pitched well and even got the final out that allowed me to get to the Rico Brogna on time because I needed to see the Mets secure a victory. And my wife kept saying, it's 4 o'clock. It's almost 4 o'clock. It's almost 4 o'clock. And I said, I know, but I got to see if Jack Wenninger is going to get this final out. But he looked good in this game as well. And overall, it's a nice, fun spring training game. The Mets play the Yankees on Sunday, and we're going to see Freddy Peralta. Let me give a thought about Freddy Peralta, and then we'll get to the people. If Freddy Peralta wants a 7 or 8 year contract, I commend you. Good for you. And if you can get that in the open market, that's fantastic. But you must know better, Freddie. You're not getting that from David Stearns and Steve Cohen. So as much as we're all open to Peralta signing an extension before he gets to free agency or even before this season starts, when he said the other day, I'd love to come back. I'm really comfortable here. It's great. But I'd love a 7 or 8 year deal. I laughed. I spit my water out because all I drink these days is water. That's not happening. So if Freddy Peralta turns into Mike Hampton, so be it, as long as it gets us to the World Series. But I think that comment really eliminated any idea that the Mets are going to work out some kind of long-term extension with Peralta before he hits free agency. But what I would say to Freddie is this: go have a big year. Because one of these days, David Stearns and Steve Cohen are going to have to change their view on starting pitchers and long-term contracts. So go have a big year, get to free agency. It could still happen. But if Tarek Skubal's a free agent, we're probably going to prefer him. Though we as Met fans are interesting beings. If Freddy Peralta has a really good year for us, and I don't mean like a Cy Young year, but a really good year, I'll give you 190 innings, a 3.07 ERA. He's the ace of the team. We make the playoffs. He's solid in the playoffs, and then gets to free agency. I think some of our brethren would prefer that over Tarek Skubal as a free agent, even though he's a multi-time Cy Young winner. So there's always that chance that Peralta's going to draw some of the Met fans in as being like ultra loyal to him, even though Tarek Skubal, we all know, let's not be stupid here, is the best pitcher in baseball, and we'd be fools to not want him as a free agent next year. Right now, we have no bond to Peralta, so it's easy to say that. But a year from now, if Freddie gives us some good performances, I can see that changing with some. But keep in mind, that's the guy that we want to give an 8-year contract to, not Freddy Peralta. No offense, Freddie. I hope you do a great job for us. Anyhow, Pete, are we ready to hear from the people?
We're going to hear from Rob in Miami, who brought his entire family this time around. Last year he showed up, I believe it was just you and your son, right? And now this year he's bringing everybody. So we're going to have Rob
beautiful.
in Miami.
Rob in Miami. Rob, sit on down and welcome to the live People's edition of the Rico Brogna. I would try to shake your hand. A little fist bump. He's holding his daughter, so I want to be careful. Were you at the game today, by the way, Rob?
We were. Yes, we were.
Did you see the guy who almost had his kid hit by the foul ball?
No, I didn't. Where was that?
So it was right behind home plate. It was like the 7th inning. This was unbelievable. There's a foul ball off the roof, and he's holding his child, much like you're holding your daughter. He's walking down the ramp, and the ball hits the ceiling and then bounces and, like, grazes his child. And his reaction after the ball grazes his child is to put his hand over his head as if the ball almost hit him. So I was curious. There were no issues with foul balls with your kids today? So far, so good? All right. Go ahead.
About a lot of the discussion we've had with the ABS.
Yes, the ABS.
When's the first own goal going to happen? Where a player strikes out, but they think it's a ball and they challenge it, and then they actually wind up, kind of own-goaling themselves.
Say it one more time. Own-doing themselves?
Like an own goal in soccer.
Oh. I don't know. Like, it's funny. There were like 5 challenges in this game today, and some of them were so bad. I'm wondering to myself, are players that biased where they're not actually going to be good at this? Because there was one like ball that the catcher challenged to be a strike, and it was like an 1.5 inches off. It was so far off that I'm starting to wonder if players are actually going to be good at this.
I
don't
agree.
know if they will.
Yeah. I feel the same way. It just seems strange. And last year we worked out the kinks with the pitch clock, the timer, but I think this is going to be bumpier.
It's going to be bumpier also because I think we're all going to yell about it. Like, we as fans are going to be so involved in, that's a dumb challenge. Why did you do that? Why didn't you do it here? I found myself doing it at the game today, obviously in a game that doesn't matter, where there's a close pitch, and I'm saying, watch you challenging that. What are we doing?
Yeah.
So I think it's one of those weird rule changes where it's going to take us time to get used to. And as long as we're not seeing the egregious decisions by our own players, I guess it'll become part of the fabric of the game. But what I'm so curious about is why they wouldn't just have every ball automatically.
Agree. At this point, yeah. And here's my serious question.
Yes.
So it's a new team, but we've got a lot of players that have been with us for a while. I've got 2, maybe 3 players in my head where I've kind of got a short leash on them, where it's like my patience are going to wear thin.
Who you got?
Well, I want to ask you first.
Oh, you want to ask me who I'm almost done with? Probably the first guy is Vientos, only because last year was so bad, and I was very patient with him last year, and he's not had a good camp either. I think he struck out in a big spot for Nicaragua earlier today. Not that I'm going to hold that against him.
He made a good defensive play at third base.
Oh, did he? See, I didn't see that. Well, guess what? He ain't going to do that here. He ain't playing third base. I think if Vientos had a bad April offensively with some of the other options that we have, that would probably be the number 1 guy on my list. And I think, I'm trying to think if there's a second. Like, I'm thinking of the pitching. If there's anyone pitching-wise, Sean Manaea struggled a lot last year. I know a lot of Met fans are down on Senga. I think those 2 guys pitching-wise probably, you know what? I take that back. Kevin Owens.
Yep.
Totally not fair, but true.
I would add today's starting pitcher in Mr. Senga.
Mr. Senga, yes.
And then I'd say Francisco Alvarez. I mean, look, I know, he's had a lot of injuries, but we've been hearing about him since 2021. I'm ready for him to break out.
No, I agree. I think the thing with Alvarez is that we have such a good option behind him that if Alvarez doesn't hit, Luis Torrens is really good defensively. He gets clutch hits. Like, I would say he's a good hitter, but he gets clutch hits. So I think what's going to make it easy to turn on Alvarez is that there's another option there that makes the team better. But I think you gave some pretty good names.
And, I think Kevin Parada's been in camp longer than Alvarez has been with the Mets. It's like unbelievable. It's like,
I know.
It's like a decade.
It shows you that some prospects don't work out because it hasn't worked with Kevin Parada. Thank you, man. Good meeting you. Or good seeing you again.
Yes, sir. See you next year.
Thank you, man. I will see you next year. This is tradition. I would say that we'll be back here, assuming they have us back here at Das Beer Garden 2 years in a row in Jupiter, Florida. It's like our schedule. First week of March, second week of March, a Saturday game in Jupiter, and then head on over to Port St. Lucie, Florida to see the Mets. That's usually the way, or the Mets at home would be the case. So, yes, come on down, because I always say, if you've never been to spring training, it is worth it. What is this guy wearing? Goodwin? That's your name, right?
Tom Goodwin. That's right.
Tom Goodwin.
So let me explain this to you, Evan. You know at Citi Field, they have the whole thing where you could spin a wheel. And there's a bunch of prizes. And it's usually like, a little swatch of a guy's baseball jersey on a card, right? But you can also get the grand prize. And the grand prize happened to be a game-issue jersey. Except it's always guys that you never heard of. No one that really ever truly made it, except this Tom Goodwin jersey, which I'm thinking I need to get a plate on the back and just put Soto on there because it's 22.
That is true. Yeah. That is a pretty, you know what? That's a cool jersey.
Thank you.
Because Tom Goodwin was our first base coach for how many years? I don't even remember.
Handful of years, but player, a little bit of a career here and there across a couple different teams. So
that's unbelievable. Well, he was with us. He was only a coach.
Yeah,
he never played for us, right?
I don't believe he did. Chicago with the Cubs for a little while. Yeah,
like an outfielder.
Yeah.
Like, I just remember him coaching briefly. Anyhow, what's your name, man?
Tony.
I'm sorry, what?
Tony.
Tony,
Yeah.
good to meet you, my man.
Good to meet you.
What's on your mind? You excited for this season?
Thank you. Thank you. Happy to be here. I'm sorry.
You excited for this season?
I am. Look, I have them at about 89.5.
I'm with you.
I'm not ready to put them over 90 because there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. How does the team look defensively? Two guys that are going to play new positions for the first time in their careers on the corners. We heard David Stern say in the postmortem of 2025, we want to improve run prevention. That was a little contradictory with some of the moves that he made here this offseason. That all being said, I think you're going to get enough out of this lineup bat-wise from Bichette, from Polanco, wherever he ends up playing from, hopefully Batty, coming back and bounce back from Vientos. But we also need to be worried about, or at least consider, what are we going to get out of this rotation? Feel very good, 1-2 with McLean and with Peralta. It's a bit of a toss-up after that. What do you get out of Senga, and what do you get out of Sean Manaea? So those are my thoughts on it. I want to hear from you.
Yeah, so the defense thing, because I know that it's like we pick on David Stearns because he said run prevention, and now we got two specific positions that are out of position at first base and third base. But here's where I'm understanding it. They're better at second base.
Clearly.
I think overall better in center field just because we saw so much of Jeff McNeil last year, and Cedric Mullins was a waste of space. So even though Luis Robert Jr., they need to bubble wrap him, and he doesn't play, defensively we're better in center field. And honestly, Juan Soto fits better in left field.
Yes.
He always has.
Yes.
Right field was never a good spot for him at Citi Field. So even though you're right about the questions at those two positions, they did get better elsewhere. Overall, we may be a better defensive team, despite first base and third base being a question. I think they're going to score as many runs as they did last year, maybe a little bit more. They'll be more of a clutch team. They'll hit maybe fewer home runs. They'll strike out less. What scares me is the bullpen because I don't trust anybody in it, other than maybe Brooks Raley, which is tough to trust. But Devin Williams, he was an elite closer a year and a half ago, but there's still that fear. How does he handle that blown save in the middle of April when Citi Field is doing its ass? What happens next day? I feel better about the rotation than you do because Manaea and Senga as back of the rotation guys, that's a little different than top of the rotation.
Right. If Senga and Manaea could slot in at the 4 and the 5 after Clay Holmes, give you a 3.5 ERA over 20 to 25 starts, even if that's all they do.
But isn't that a good top 3, though?
That is an excellent top 3.
Yes.
Now, the bullpen, to your point, very questionable. And to add to that, you need Devin Williams to get off to a good start.
Yes.
Because of what he experienced in the Bronx. And look, we can throw it away as one and only year coming off a trade, going to the Yankees out of Milwaukee, and maybe he just wasn't feeling comfortable there. But if he does not get off to a good start, we know as well as anybody how Mets fans are. It is important for him to get off to a good start.
You're 1,000% right.
And look, Luke Weaver, really great career, a couple seasons with the Yankees. Last year was not very good for Luke Weaver.
After the injury.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So what does Luke Weaver bring? And then, of course, A.J. Minter coming off a torn lat. What does he have at 32, almost 33 years old? And like you said, Rayleigh going to turn 37. Excellent last year in 25 innings.
Yep.
Can he give you 50 to 70 this year? A lot of questions in the bullpen.
Yeah, the Minter one's a big one. And we're probably not going to see him till May. It's funny about Devin and Luke Weaver. I think for two reasons. His struggles last year with the Yankees with huge expectations, and the fact that Alonso beat him for that home run with Devin Williams on the hottest of hot seats. Luke Weaver not on the same. Like, I think Mets fans will be more patient with Luke Weaver blowing a save in April than Devin Williams. I think it's those two reasons, which is not even really fair. Like that home run, which is an epic moment for all of us, maybe a top Met moment of all time. He's on the wrong end of it. Right. It's almost like we're going to turn on him a lot because of that moment.
Well, and it's very interesting. We have a Yankee fan over here, and we have three former Yankees closers on the Mets roster right now in Luke Weaver, Clay Holmes, and Devin Williams. Who knows how it all gets sorted out, but I'm feeling okay about this team. Like I said, 89.5. The hitting needs to come together. We'll see what happens. Luis Robert, another question mark, or I guess you could say a wild card about this lineup.
Yes.
If he performs, I'm not even asking for 2023 MVP vote getter Luis Robert, but can he do better than what they got out of center field last year?
Last year, Luis Robert Jr., and I forget the games missed. Let's assume they actually do a good job of keeping him healthy, that this plan works. But he puts up the same horrific numbers. Those horrific numbers are better than the production we got out of center field last year. So in a weird way, even if he does the same thing, it's an upgrade over what.
Oh, you're telling me you don't want Cedric Mullins back? You didn't enjoy the Cedric Mullins experience?
That was an abomination.
That was no good? Okay, what about the Jeff McNeil experience out there for maybe the 15 games he played?
We all turned on Jeff McNeil. I thought he did an admirable job.
I would agree with that.
You know what I mean? Like,
serviceable.
That's not easy. And he went out there and he did like a fairly good job. Other than that ball that went over his head that cost us a game that one time.
Agreed. Agreed. We had Jeff McNeil fatigue, and it was time to move on. And look, how I'll end this here is I am excited about a new start for this team.
Yeah.
It is a fresh, new look. We have a couple of new faces that are going to be very important to the ultimate success of them. And I'm ready to see what this group will bring. And the nice part about it is a lot of these guys are on 2-3-year contracts. And the Mets have the financial ability to constantly refresh. Oh, by the way, with one of the top arms in the game to continuously turn over and make changes as they see fit. And I fully entrust David Stearns to do that.
We shall see. Thank you, man.
Thank
I
you,
appreciate
Evan.
it. Good stuff.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. I'll tell you the one negative of all these short-term contracts. I was talking to my wife briefly about this, is that are you really going to buy your kid a Bo Bichette jersey? I think about that. I don't know if you can. Oh, very cool, man. Like, how do you – because there's no long-term commitment to really any of these guys. So that's the one negative, but that's more of a first world problem because we're talking about jersey sales for kids. But yeah, there's an ability to move on from these guys, but who knows how long they'll be here. What's up, my man? How you doing?
Hey, I love the Rico, but I have a question.
Yeah, well, first of all, what's your name, man?
I'm Dylan. I'm from Manhattan.
Nice to see you, Dylan. What's
Thank
up,
you.
man?
I don't get your disappointment about the Freddy Peralta trade. What is Brandon Sproat's role on this team? They have enough pitchers. They traded for 2 pitchers, Tobias Myers and Freddy Peralta. You said at the time that you weren't disappointed in the Brandon Sproat part, that they have enough depth. But Jet Williams also, he doesn't even have a role on this team. The outfield is crowded with Mike Tauchman, Carson Bench, MJ Melendez, Kristen Pache. There's enough players. And same with the infield, even if Mark Vientos is an awful defender.
Right.
So what is the cause of disappointment in that?
That is a great look. Let's give this kid a round of applause. He came up here and called me out. That's what he did. He said, "What's wrong with you, Evan?" I'm going to be honest with you. And I hate to be this honest, but your name is Dylan. Okay. The Mets have a young pitcher in the minor leagues named Dylan Ross. If the Mets traded him, would there be any level of you being disappointed that they traded a guy of your name? It would disappoint you, right? All right. Yes, I think that my bias was that I was so disappointed that Jet Williams, the name of my oldest son, who he's been excited to see for 3 years, because think about it, he's been in our system for so long. I think, there was a level of disappointment we gave up Jet Williams. On the other side, I thought it was a lot for a rental. You're right. You covered it beautifully about we have pitching depth. We have this outfield depth now. Do we really need those two players? You're right. You're spot on. I think it was that Jet's a top 100 prospect. Sproat could be really good, and we heard so much about him last year, and it feels like a lot for a guy who I genuinely think will only be here for 1 year. If I had to guess right now, I think Freddy Peralta's gone, and he's with another team next year. And you agree with that, right? Exactly. So I think that's, if I'm being honest with you, the cost, and yes, I admit the bias of the name probably affected it. But you know what, man? I'm excited now. I don't even think about Jet Williams and Brandon Sproat. And I said it at the time. I'm disappointed, but give me a few weeks and I'll be good to go. So, but thank you. Great question, man. I appreciate it. Good meeting you, Dylan. I love that. He came up here, Hoff, and said, Evan, I love your butt. And then destroyed my opinion.
I love Dylan. That's my new champ.
I love it. That's why I love the People's Rico. Trust me, I'm just one guy. I have opinions. They may not be right. They're just my opinions.
Hi,
how are you?
I'm good.
I like your t-shirt.
Thank you. I love it. We just
It says the Rico. If you can see it on our YouTube feed. What's your name? Kat. Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Or see you, because maybe we've met before.
We have never met.
Okay, then good to meet you.
But I watch you all the time, and I love you both.
Appreciate it. Thank you
I
very
just want to
much.
say, let's go Mets.
Yeah. LGM.
And I also want to say, we're all disappointed about Alonso and Nimmo and Diaz. And I hate to beat a dead horse.
What?
But stop. Just stop. We have so many things to look forward to this year. Right?
You're right. No, I agree with you.
I'm excited for Bichette. I'm excited for Weaver. I'm just excited about all of them. I mean, you got to believe, right?
You got to believe. If things go badly, and I hope they don't, I'm not thinking that they will, but if this turns into a bad season and all those guys are having great years, then we're going to hear about it again. And that's just a part of being a Met fan. What was that?
We're going to kick Stearns' butt.
Yes, exactly. Well, thank you. I think that's a good message, though, for us, that we love those guys. We need to move on.
Move on. We
Move
love
on.
the Mets, though, right? Everybody clap.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's go Mets. Thank you, Kat. Yes. I do warn you, though, if we have a bad year, it's going to be like Pete Alonso with 17 home runs by May 5th. There'll be confirmation. How are you, man? What's your name?
I'm good. Bill, nice to meet you.
Bill, nice to meet you. Thank you very much. You, before you say a word,
Okay.
I look at you and I think you live in Florida. Am I right?
I do live in Florida now. I'm from Connecticut.
From Connecticut.
Mets fan forever, but I live in Vero Beach now.
Vero Beach.
Yeah, it's very nice.
That is awesome. Did you ever get to see the Dodgers play there?
I did not. My brother did. I never made it down for spring training when they were still there. So.
Oh, yeah, because they moved away over a decade ago, and I was doing one of my spring training trips, and I was like, I got to get to Vero Beach just this one time. And I'll never forget, I saw a Dodgers Marlins random game in Vero Beach. I don't remember anything about it. Getting to see a baseball game there felt like, all right, that's something you need to do.
Yeah, I live literally like 2 minutes from that stadium.
Right.
But unfortunately, no major league games going on there now. So
That's all right.
So
What's on your mind, man?
well, first of all, I wanted to talk about, am I the only one hoping Freddie gets a small stomach bug so we could see McLean versus Paul Skeens on opening day? I mean, I'm a big Freddie fan, but that would be one heck of a matchup.
It would be, but here's my question to you, because I know you represent a lot of people who wanted to see that. It's opening day, right? Why do we need a marquee? We don't need that. We already have a degree of opening day. Should be enough. How about spicing up Saturday by having no one to pinch then? Like, why do we need that?
Well, that's true, except for the fact that those two pitchers, I feel, Pirates and Mets, going forward.
Yeah.
I don't know if Freddie's more than a one-year wonder, but I believe McClain may be a long-term player for the Mets.
No, I agree with you. But what I would say is we're going to see this for the next decade, hopefully.
Sure.
We're going to get so many cracks for Nolan McClain to be our opening day stud.
But again, against one of the best in baseball, Pirates Mets opening day, that comes along, once every 15 years or so?
I totally get it. I respect it. It does nothing for me. I'm being honest with you. Like, to me, it's opening day.
I'm traveling from Florida for opening day, so
that's what's going on. Now, are you staying for a game on Saturday and Sunday?
Right now, no. But
right now, no. So here's what you did, and it's totally fine because I just admitted I did it too. I admitted to that young man, Dylan, that maybe I was a little biased about the Freddie trade because of Jet Williams and the name. You're being very biased.
I love looking at Carson Benz, Nolan McClain. I love seeing those guys right now because I'm looking at what the future Mets are looking like.
Oh, I get it.
And again, that could be I think they'll match up again. I think McClain and Skanes will match up again, but I'd love it this year. But
I get you. I think it makes sense when you trade for someone as established as Freddie, to just show him that respect.
I don't disagree with the decision. I just would love to see. That's all. That's me.
All right, so don't root for an injury. No, let's not do that.
The other thing is, are we going to see Polanco at first base anytime soon?
Who at first base?
Polanco.
Well, he's played one game, I think, so far in spring training at first base. So I think they're going to work him in slowly, but I am now believing that he's going to mostly be the designated hitter. But I think with Batty and his athleticism, and the fact that I think right field will be held down by Barnes, I really believe he's going to this team. Even if he doesn't, I think Mike Cochran will play. I think we're going to see more Batty at first base than anywhere else. And so because of that, I think Polanco's going to end up DHing more than playing first base. That's my prediction.
And I agree. I believe Polanco will play first, but I believe you'll see more games from Batty there.
Yeah.
So I think Batty will get more games at first than anybody else. So you and I are in agreement there.
Yeah. We'll see. They got 2.5 weeks left. But, man, good meeting you. And hopefully you get good weather for opening day. That would screw it up if you're flying back too early and you miss it, all right?
Hey, just want to give a quick plug.
Yes.
I am the vice president of the New York and St. Lucie Mets Booster Club.
Nice.
So always looking for new members. Look for metsboosterclub.org and see it on your Facebook page and come see us.
Awesome. Well, good job. You should have called you Mr. Vice President.
Jimmy Fertita's number one. I'm number two.
Okay. Good seeing you, man. Thank you very much. We're having a good time on this beautiful Saturday at Das Beer Garden. For those back in New York listening and consuming the Rico Brogna, I would like to let you know it is 85 degrees and sunny.
Yes.
But the good news is I saw we're getting like really nice weather in New York on Monday and Tuesday. So we are bringing the Florida weather back to New York when we return on Monday and Tuesday. You're welcome.
As long as we melt all the snow, that's got to go. Like, I can't take it anymore. This has been going on since like November. We got like an early snowfall in November, and it's freaking, dude, there's going to be snow in April. I'm telling you right now, we're going to look and there's going to be piles of snow out there.
I hope not, but I think the snow has led to appreciating a trip to Florida more than ever. And making spring training more of a trip that you need to do this year, because we were hit with, maybe the worst winter of our lifetime.
If I'm usually like not an optimistic, I'm a pessimistic guy. I'm like buried in this like worst snow of all time. This could be the worst year of my life.
No, it's been bad. I mean, that's why like I'm looking at that first series of the year and wondering, are we actually going to get 3 games in against the Pittsburgh Pirates? Like, they built in the off day. So we open on a Thursday at 1:15 on Netflix Peacock. We're on the Peacock. And then there's an off day Friday, and then we play Saturday and Sunday. And I feel bad for that dude who's flying in because you never want screw-ups. But if Thursday gets rained out, the game on Friday, the makeup game, would not be on Peacock, and we would get Gary, Keith, and Ron on a Friday afternoon. And I don't know about you guys, but last year we had opening day on a Friday. I like it. I like that to be like a new Mets tradition, opening the home season with a late Friday afternoon game. It's something kind of like festival.
And no offense to anybody on the national broadcast, but any day we get Gary, Keith, and Ron is a good day, right? So if we miss it on Peacock, whoops.
That's what I'm saying. That's why, like, a part of me's hoping for a rain out on opening day.
By the way, everybody that's complaining on the YouTube that we have bad audio, it's not as bad as they're making out to be. But people here can hear it well. On the YouTube, people are very upset that it's not perfect. You have a little bit of an echo.
Pete's fault. What can I
That
tell you?
is. And I won't have a job doing podcasts anymore, and I probably won't have a job on Monday when I get back at 2 o'clock. Matt coming up from where?
That's funny.
West Palm. Here we go.
We do the best we can. We apologize. I think Pete can make the audio better for the podcast version or something. How are you, man?
All right, Evan. How you doing, my friend? I'm all right. How are you?
I'm not bad. What's your name again?
Matt.
Matt. Good to meet you. How you feeling?
I'm good. I can't really hear like what you guys said to some of the other people. So if I repeat myself from the M, sorry about that.
That's okay. That's Hoffman's fault.
First thing I got to do is I got to say thank you because, last season, I'm a little younger than you. I'm 38. Worst Mets season of my life. So for me, I mean, it was, to me, it was the worst. And this was absolutely therapy. And I'm sure everybody listens after the game. Every brutal loss, this was the only way I was able to sleep by commiserating,
I appreciate it. It was therapy for me too, trust me.
It was horrendous. And with that, obviously, listen, I'm excited to watch Mets baseball opening day, but I maybe I'm just gonna say, am I crazy? Is there a recent example? I've never been this emotionally disconnected from a team.
Because of the players.
I think it's because of the combination of how bad last year was, and then it's essentially a new team. And is this like, am I making this up in my head, or can you think of a recent or even not so recent example where it was something like this, or should I just be excited to watch the Mets?
Well, the other collapses we've had usually lead to more collapses. Like I think back to 07 into 08, but maybe the reason there was another collapse is we didn't make major changes.
I mean, it's true.
And, I started doing middays with Joe in 2007. And so that was the year we collapsed.
By the way, so you guys big time therapy after every Jets loss and every you guys were the best.
Thank you. And I remember after they collapsed in 07, Francesco was screaming, they gotta break up the core. And I disagreed with him, and I think most Met fans did. And they never did break up the core. And then they collapsed again in 08, and then obviously 09 and 10 they fell apart. They did it this time. And so I don't know what to expect. Like, I agreed with one of the guys who came on earlier. Like, I feel like they're an 89-win team. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. It's a wild baseball season. But the fact that they tried to do something major, as much as we may have disagreed with it, after a collapse may be a good thing. And shouldn't we excite you that, hey, at least I know the same thing won't happen? Because if the same thing happens, it happens with completely different players.
I mean, that's true. I'll give you that. I mean, and obviously you can develop an emotional connection by winning. I mean, that's just how that's just how it is. And what's nice is, because I live here. I got out of New York 8 years ago. I'm never going back. Is that in past years they came to Miami first week of the season and the last week of the season.
Yeah.
And last year was the first year that I said, you know what, forget it. I'm not going. I would have went to 161, which would have been a nice game to go to. But still, I was just so disgusted with the team. I couldn't. At least this year, they go down to Miami mid-May. So I'll know by that time, okay, is it worth it for me to take the drive down?
The track record says we won't know it because last mid-May we were awesome and then collapsed. And the previous mid-May we were horrible.
But at least, but I could be excited, and be like, you know what? All right, let's go. I'll take the kids. Let's get out of here. Let's go. Anyway, that's it.
Yeah, I think that we will develop emotions to the new players. Like right now, Bo Bichette is just some guy that we added, a hell of a player that we watched from afar. I think it takes like a month, and those guys become our players, and we start knowing them and being emotional to them, good and bad. And you're right, winning changes everything. If this team wins, we'll fall in love with this team. I would rather win a world championship without Pete Alonso than win nothing with him. And I love Pete. And I say, man,
we all do.
About the ground. I just want to win. So we'll see if it works out. But I think that the fact that they tried to change so much, that could be a reason to be excited.
I'll take it. But I'm expecting 0-17 with the Jets, and the Mets are going to win, 79 games. So.
All right, man. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. You're screwing me. I'm putting my hand out for a handshake. Thank you.
I listen to you and Tiki every day.
I was like, do I take my hand back or do I stay loyal till I get that handshake?
All right, Evan.
I gotta
tell you something.
What was that?
I gotta tell you something.
Go ahead.
This next step is called rapid fire. So that means you got to talk less. Let these guys ask questions and go. You're having a great conversation.
Having a conversation. That's what we were doing.
I know, but there's so many people that want to talk to you.
All right.
So it's rapid fire.
You know what? I'm not even going to talk. Just let the people talk and I'll nod. All right? It's a conversation, people's Rico Brogna. Look at this guy. How are you, sir?
How are you? Good to meet you, man. Frank from Jersey.
No, Frank from Jersey.
First,
what's on your mind, pal?
well, Jet Williams, first, not only him being your son's name, but as a short guy, you favorite Jet Williams a little bit, you know.
Yes.
I get it. Overrated him as a short guy.
It's true.
Anyway, I'm in the middle of like a dorky baseball trip I want to tell you about. So I went to 2 WBC games yesterday.
Nice.
You should do it. It's fun, man. I went to
the first WBC
fun.
in 06.
DR and Nicaragua last night was fun, and I went to Venezuela during the day. So I was going to say.
When you go, are you rooting for anybody or you just watching?
No, just rooting for, like, anytime someone gets a big hit, you cheer. You just join in.
Makes sense.
Just join in on the fun. So, yeah. The only net point I'm going to make is I'm Batty, right? Between the corner infielders, he at first and third, he's the best option at either position.
Right.
So he can't DH, right? Batty DHing would be a mistake. He's got to either start at first or start at third, because the other two are going to be less defenders.
Don't we have to give Bo Bichette a shot before you diagnose him a crappy defensive third baseman?
That's why he's going to start at first. Of course,
I agree.
Bichette's going to start at third.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on the first baseman.
But in a pinch, the point is Batty can't DH. It wouldn't make any sense. He's the
I
best,
get what you're saying.
best corner infielder between the three of them. He's the best at each position.
No, it's definitely a fair point.
Right?
I think that with Bichette, at least, because you're right, he's going to play right away. Let's give him until July 1st. And then on July 1st, we can all diagnose if he sucks defensively, and we should consider like 80 playing more third and Bichette DH. Look, guys don't know what they don't learn anything.
Right.
If he's not defending at a high enough level, they have every right to say you're going to be the DH.
Yeah. For me, it's not even about him. I'm just saying, like, if you preach defense, then Batty has to be a corner infielder on your team between the three of them.
That makes sense.
Right?
No,
That's all.
All right, thank you, man. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the WBC. I went to the 06 World Baseball Classic, the first one ever in San Diego, and I saw the semifinals and finals, and we didn't make it. It was DR against Cuba and Korea against Japan. What's up?
All right, so what's your name?
Christina.
Christina's
Christina.
here. Her brother is a huge fan of
Look at
yours.
that.
He's
Is
extremely
that
jealous.
Evan Roberts' holy bleep? I listen to him every day. Oh, my God, like literally his whole mom fry. Oh, I think Monday through Friday.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And he's not here. He's getting married soon, though. So he asked her to do a shot with you, but you have a bad back, so I'm going to take the shot for
Yeah,
you.
it's not that I have a bad back. I'm taking medication that
Taking
apparently,
medication.
if I drink, I could like drop here. So
That's okay.
thank you all for doing it. For me.
I'm sacrificing myself for you.
I appreciate it.
All right, here we go.
This is gonna be the
Where
shot.
are you?
All right, here we
Here
go.
we're doing a shot on air.
Commemorative shot.
Ready?
Come
Two,
in
go.
here.
Oh, you got to get in there real quick.
Oh, yes, I'm in the picture.
What's the name? What's the guy's name?
Vincent and Kayla are getting married.
Vincent and Kayla are getting married.
All right, here we go. Take that shot. Hoff has downed it.
Well, it's a green tee shot. All
Very
right.
nice.
Who's next? We're over this.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Good luck.
That was Hoff's favorite moment of the podcast today. He can't get the audio working, but man, he got some shots. That's what matters. How are you, sir?
Joey,
Welcome to the
how you doing, man? Joey from.
I want to switch it up a little bit.
Yep.
Real quick, talk a little fantasy. Right?
Yes.
The Rico Brogna podcast.
Yes.
Fantasy league's coming up.
Yes.
Deal, and I got a lot of entries, hopefully. By luck, I'm selected, but I have a hypothetical I want to run by.
Hypothetical. I love that.
So, fantasy for 20 years now in a serious league, all boys, a big money league. I was blessed with the number 1 pick this year.
Oh, wow.
Obviously, I'm taking Connie.
Of course.
Number 2 pick is my brother.
Yeah.
Die-hard Mets fan, die-hard Rico Brogna listener.
Okay.
He has the 2nd pick.
Yes.
My other brother's sitting in the cut over there, and I decide we would think number 2 pick, where you going?
So here's my philosophy with fantasy and mixing being a diehard Met fan, but also trying to win. If it's close, I go with the Met because I want to enjoy myself more. It's got to be reasonable. Is taking Juan Soto over Aaron Judge or Bobby Witt Jr. reasonable? I think it is, especially since Soto may steal 50 bases this year. And he's a great player. So I would take Juan Soto personally because I don't think it's like a stupid pick. Now, if you take emotion out, would he be the number 2 pick? Probably not. But I think it's close enough where it's okay to put your fandom first because you want to enjoy the season. And the last thing I want to do is root for people I can't stand. You're welcome.
Always said, hey, you take Soto, you root for him all season long, and Bobby, enjoy rooting for Aaron Judge all year long.
Yeah.
He's taking Judge.
Well, look, he could do it. I'm not.
Bronx guy, Bronx mom.
Right. Look, people could do it. There's no wrong answer with that. I just know I'm going to go with the thing that's going to make me happy throughout the season. It's a long season. And you want the double, like Juan Soto, it's a 3-run home run. It's a double deucer. It helps the team you root for and your fantasy team. So personally, that's the way I love to go.
That's exactly the way that we look at it as well. Second question, real quick for you. Obviously, the podcast is huge. It's growing. What percentage of fans do you think are Yankee fans that are tuning into your?
Were Yankee fans who listen to the Rico? I would say it varies based on the result. So I always say this to CP, the franchise, who does that great Knicks channel for anyone who's a basketball fan. I always tell CP, I will only tune in when the Knicks lose because I want to hate watch Knicks stuff. I don't like the Knicks. That's just me. When they win, I'm less likely to watch. So my guess would be that Yankee fans, after we collapsed, are watching the Rico. When Pete Alonso hits the home run off Devin Williams, I think they're less likely to watch the Rico. So I think that the Yankee audience or the contributors to the Rico vary on if it's good Met stuff or bad Met stuff.
Shout out Dan from Middletown, New Jersey. Diehard Yankee fan. Diehard Rico Brogna fan.
Oh, wow.
Has your book. It's
Nice.
right here, right now. So, Dan,
Well, thank you, Dan. Yankees suck, Dan. Yeah, you tell them. Good meeting you, man. Thank you very much. Yankee fans. Yeah, I think when things go badly, we hear from the Yankee fans. What's going on, man? How are you?
Jersey guy. Big fan.
Jersey guy. Nice. Well, thank you for coming down. What's on your mind, man?
What's on my mind? I got a big problem.
I got a big problem, too. But it ain't the Mets. It's not the Mets right now.
It'd be way too long. Kodi Senga.
Yes.
He wants a 6-man rotation.
He don't know. He doesn't want a 6-man rotation. The Mets give him a 6-man rotation.
Oh, come on. We're on year 3. We're on year 3.
Okay.
And we still need a 6-man rotation.
But that's the Mets deciding to do it. Why are you blaming Senga?
Well, why is the Mets deciding to do it?
Because he sucks on regular rest.
Okay, so we gotta get a 6-man rotation for a guy that's making $15 million a year to not even perform as he's paid to do.
Do you know how many starts Kodi Senga's made on regular rest?
Listen, you let me know.
You're about to laugh.
I'm not educated to you to do it. So you're educated.
He's made like 5.
Okay.
So I'm going to agree with you on
So
this.
wait. So what are the results?
They suck.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's see him on a regular rotation to start the year. If he sucks, what do you do? Like, you just do it because you're mad? Or do you say, all right, let's trust that this guy's better than you tell me. You're the expert now.
No. So he's not that good. We gotta pay. It's not that good. We gotta adjust to a 6-man rotation.
What do you do?
Give him the pitch.
Okay, so what do you do?
We should have traded his ass.
What if you can't get anything back for him? You just want to give him
Hey,
away?
I take a bag of chips to the beer.
Okay, so you just get rid of him.
Yeah, we should have.
I don't think that's a good decision. You need pitching, bro. What if guys get hurt? And by the way, Senga's pitched better than he has badly. You know what I mean? Like in his time here, he's mostly been good.
No,
I think get rid of that guy.
I think he's been great.
But he's great, but you want to trade him for chips.
We gotta take one less guy in the bullpen.
If that's a 6-man rotation. What about my idea? Okay.
It's a 6-man rotation every time he's in the rotation.
I get that, unless they just alter it and make it a 5-man rotation.
How are we going to do that with him? Because they won't do it.
Pitch him on regular rest and see what happens.
Then he sucks.
It's like the chicken or the egg theory at this point. What about the tag team approach I have, which is Minaya and Senga starting together? Like that idea? Both pitch 3 or 4 innings, call it a day.
It's not that I got a problem with that. It's just that we're wasting a guy in the bullpen.
Yeah, no, look, that's the negative. It's a fair point. I think the problem is it's complicated. You're laying out why it's complicated. If you pitch him on regular rest and he sucks, what do you do? If you pitch him on an extra day of rest, you got one less guy in your bullpen, that's not ideal. Dude, you're right. It's not ideal.
And if Senga pitches, if Senga fucking blows it up, and Sean got a pitch, and Sean maybe goes 5 innings scoreless,
save the bullpen.
We wasted a good Sean pitch. We wasted a good Sean start because Senga blew it up. It's now he can't pitch for 5 days because Senga blew.
That's the risk. You know what you did? Even though you wasted a Sean start, you saved your bullpen because Minaya came in and gave you 5 or 6 innings that he ate. So you didn't have to waste Luke Weaver in a game and you get your ass kicked in. Am I right? I convinced you. I know I did.
Hey, one more beer, you might got
one more beer. Give him another beer. Good meeting you, man. Thank you very much. No, it's good points, though. I appreciate it, man. It's good points, though, about the whole Kodi Senga situation. It's complicated. All right, one more. No, we're done? Or one more? That poor guy's waiting, and then we got to go, unfortunately. And by got to go, I mean I got to stretch my back out because I've been sitting for an hour. Are you wearing a Pete Alonso jersey?
I am wearing a Pete Alonso jersey.
How much longer are you going to wear this before you realize he's on the Orioles?
I realize he's on the Orioles, but he's still the franchise home run leader. So, I'm supporting his legacy.
It's funny. I was talking to my wife about this year. She was asking me about Alonso jerseys. Like, can you still wear it? What about Diaz? And I said, with DeGrom, who's my guy, I gave it a year, and then I went back to it. With Diaz, you got to get rid of it. With Alonso, it's complicated. So, jokes aside, I understand it because we still wanted him back. I think he wanted to come back. So I have no issue.
Yeah, the analytics, and I'm here to talk about analytics too. And the analytics said the war per dollar said don't bring Alonso back, and that's what Stern said. So it's hard to be mad about it when you look at it like that.
I get you.
And so the analytics thing I'm here to talk about too is what do you think about Juan Soto batting leadoff?
I love it.
I think he should be batting leadoff. He has great base stealing ability. He's coming off the best base stealing season of his career. And he's our highest OPS guy. And we want to get him those extra at-bats over the course of the season. I think the analytics in the future are going to start to love this move of batting your best player first and just batting, descending an OPS over the lineup.
Yes, no, I completely agree with you, and I'm going to do some research tomorrow because I've been big on Soto leading off. I'm going to ask Carlos Mendoza. I have to do this off the record. So we're going to have to do like code words with the audience because it's off the record. I don't think Juan Soto wants to.
Yes.
And that's what I'm going to try to figure out because Mendy's never going to throw him under the bus. So when you bring up that point or I bring up that point, he's going to argue why we're going to do something else.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that Juan Soto could be ego, could be whatever. I think he wants to that second or third. And I'm going to get to the bottom of it because I think it's related to Soto not wanting to do it. If he doesn't want to do it, I'm not going to force it.
Right, and I agree with that too because it's all about putting him in the spot. He feels more confident. But it's interesting this thing that he said about Shohei Ohtani a couple weeks ago where he's like, I'm gunning for the MVP now too.
He did say that.
Who else bats leadoff? Shohei Ohtani does. And the analytics love him batting leadoff.
I agree.
He's a high OPS guy. And he's the best OPS.
I'm totally with you because I also think like this is simple analytics. If they're going to walk Juan Soto, which they're going to do, I'd love to do it to lead off an inning. Obviously, the first one, you can't guarantee the other innings. Your chances of scoring a run when there's one on and nobody out are a lot higher than one on and one out, or 2 outs and 1 out. You know what I mean? So I love the idea that Soto's got such a great eye and he's going to catch so many walks. Great, let's start the game with the leadoff man on. Fine. And then, as you said, Soto's been stealing bases. They take advantage of it. So I'm with you. I don't think the Mets are winning. I don't think Juan Soto's going to win.
Yes, yeah. And I'm curious, though, what do you think the reason is that he doesn't want to bat leadoff? So I think that's what the barrier is, too.
Yeah, I don't know. And that's first of all, I'm speculating that he doesn't. I don't know if that's the case.
Right.
But maybe it's just he's been doing it his entire career, and like 2 and 3 is kind of like the sexier spot in the order.
Yeah.
It's still kind of new to have your best player lead off, but look, the Braves did it with Acuna. You mentioned the Dodgers with Ohtani. it's becoming more. The Yankees would judge a few years
Yes,
ago.
yeah.
And I thought it was fun when Bush did it.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get there at some point, but clearly for now, we're looking at Soto for step 1, 2, 3, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We shall see. Thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for
Good
having me
meeting
out.
you. I appreciate it. And it was a great job meeting a lot of you guys. It's been a very fun time here at the Das Beer Garden, which is like a new Rico Brogna tradition. It's always fun to be out here, see spring training, and realize that there are places where the weather is nice. And right now that place happens to be South Florida. But good news, we're bringing it back north. Now, we're going to do another Rico Brogna on Sunday. We'll be doing that at the beautiful PGA Resort. And at that Rico Brogna, we'll hear from some Mets. We'll hear some interviews, but we will also be pulling the names for the Rico Brogna Fantasy League. So if you have emailed us and we've received way too high of a number, we appreciate it. We will do our best to just pull 10 names so you can join the Rico Brogna Fantasy League. If you don't make it, I apologize. I think your percentages right now are like 2%. It's like the Nets winning the lottery. So we'll do the best we can, but we do appreciate the interest, and we will pull that on the Sunday edition of the Rico Brogna, where Pete Hoffman guarantees the audio quality will be 50 times better. But thank you again to Das Beer Garden. It's a beautiful place. We appreciate them hosting us, and thanks to all of you for coming out. It's been a fun time. Thank you very much for listening to Rico Brogna.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Rico Brogna podcast. It's amazing, isn't it? Make sure you download it now to keep it on you at all times.